If you are a real estate agent who's constantly overwhelmed, juggling 20 things a day and still not seeing consistent growth, you're not alone. The truth is, most agents are building a business that cannot scale and eventually they burn out. You're doing it all. You're chasing leads, you're managing clients, you're running ads, you're posting content, showing homes, following up manually, and more. You're working 24/7, but your business depends entirely on you, and that is not scalable, and deep down, you know it. But here's the truth. It's not your fault. You were taught hustle, not systems. No one showed you how to scale sustainably. The thing is, you don't need more motivation. You need more leverage. A system that works with you, not because of you. My name is Eetu Häkkinen. I'm the CEO of Mescoola, the #1 AI-driven listing ecosystem for growth-minded real estate agents. We have helped over 400 agents across the North America go from burnout and unpredictably to scalable, consistent growth. No more thinking where your next deal will come from. No more tire kickers, just real systems that attract exclusive seller leads, follow up with AI, and convert into listing appointments, all without you being glued to your phone. Agents who win long term, they have leverage. They have installed a value-first online listing acquisition process and a system. It runs even when they take a day off. That's what we teach inside Mescoola. Attract, nurture, convert. It's not theory, it's a framework that works. Here's a couple of our clients. Catherine, she doubled her production by closing an extra 15 listings in 1 year and built a team. Derry, from 0 to 12 extra listings after getting burned by 10 other lead gen companies. And William, 6 listing appointments and 2 listings in 5 weeks. This is what happens when you install the right foundation. Now, let me show you exactly how this system works and how to build it for yourself. Let's jump onto my iPad and walk you through it step by step. We have hundreds of other agents who are using the system and have been using it to grow their businesses and get more listings and are literally crushing it. So just to show you that it actually does work. That being said, let's dive in to the process, okay? So in any given, let me just make sure that you see all of that stuff. So in any given acquisition process, how I see it, there's 2 different things to it. There's the marketing process and then there's the sales process. So you need to have a way to consistently acquire more leads and opportunities and then turn those into appointments, listings, and closings. So you need the prospect and lead gen machine, and then you need the conversion machine, the sales machine, right? You need these both. Right now, on this video, I'll be focusing more on the actual marketing process, but there's a few things obviously when it comes to sales process as well, and those are things that we actually teach our customers on a weekly basis on group coaching calls from 7 and 8 figure real estate agents who have been crushing it with online leads, some of them using our system as well as been using it successfully for a long period of time and showing others how to actually convert these leads and opportunities into listings and closings. So that's what we do in our private program. When it comes to sales, we also do the marketing side of things done for you. We have a couple other things as well that we offer, but that's the main thing. And you can click the link in the description. There's a video that will direct you to this page to get more information regarding that. However, right now, let's dive into the actual marketing process. So when we really simplify this stuff, normally what people do, what other agencies are doing, and what you may have been, you may have tested out yourself, or some other marketing guru has told you to do, is they run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever the ads are, and they drive them to a lead form. Okay, and what ends up happening is that you get a lead and that doesn't really work out. There's no intent, there's really no engagements, the information is wrong, all the good stuff. Actually, not good stuff in that sense, but yeah, just going crazy here, by the way. But nevertheless, so that's what people normally do, which ends up them thinking like, okay, paid ads doesn't work, etc. The other avenue of that is where people think paid ads doesn't work because they don't understand the sales cycle, they don't understand the conversion process, and they just don't understand the process or the journey that the leads go through. Their mindset at the beginning, as well as the journey from
A to Z when it comes to actually getting a lead and then getting those to closing the table and closing the deal. So it's a slightly different process compared to working with referrals, peer of influence, some other leads and sources. Paid ads is totally different, but it's one of those sources. Facebook, for example, which is nuts. People say that it doesn't work, but just like bonkers. That's bullshit, by the way. Facebook and Instagram are one of the only sources that you can actually get 10x returns right now from your advertisement. You just know what the heck you're doing, okay? So just to let you know that. Also, all of these that you see here, we've been running Facebook ads for them. Facebook and Instagram. Nuts, bonkers. People say it doesn't work, it does. So the actual process, how it goes, when you start building your own acquisition system, or if you're using someone who builds things for you, or you have a marketing guy or whatever the case may be, make sure that they do this process. So we have the ad. I would start with image ads to make it super simple for you. Most people suck in front of camera. I'm not also the best in front of camera, which is kind of funny. However, most people suck in front of camera, so to keep it super simple, start with image creatives, so the actual photo in your ad, right? Start with those, and then later on you can turn those into videos. One great tip there is that once you find an image ad that works, you have the ad copy, right? So the text, the ad text, you have the headline, right? And then you have the actual offer in the image itself. Once you find something that works, the easiest thing to do is simply just take your camera, selfie, and you literally read through the ad copy that you already know is working. And give it the same offer, you do the same thing, and just keep it super simple. And funny enough, it actually works pretty well. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to video ads, they are really great when you're scaling up your ads. However, they tend to fatigue faster, meaning the performance will be great and then it dips faster than image ad. That's what we've seen across the board when it comes to image ads in the real estate niche, okay? So as a realtor, I would start with image ads, and then later on, once you get something that works and converts, and then you just start utilizing that to create video ads, and then you just need to launch more and more video ads in order to make that work. Cool. From there, keep it simple. Instead of running to lead forms, we don't like those, we don't want those. Only in specific situations. More about that in future videos. There's few instances where we do actually use lead forms, but that's only a handful of cases, and it has to be a specific use case. Right now, for you, just do something like that. Drive the traffic from the ad to a landing page, opt-in page, squeeze page, whatever you want to call that, where you have a survey. Right? So instead of a form, have a survey. Surveys works much better. So survey, you ask a question, they answer, they go to the next question, etc. Instead of a form, we have those and you reply and then you click submit. So have a survey that leads the lead to reply to more and more questions. It just works much better, the conversion is higher, etc., and you get much more information out of the leads than you would with the form. Now from there, you want to ask questions like obviously the contact information, so name, email, phone number, potential of that, potential the address of the property, potential timeline to sell, relationship to the address, and recent upgrades to property, etc. Like you can start with those. Have those basic questions and start with that. From there, what you want to do is you want to drive them to a booking page. So you have a calendar here where literally book a time with you to a phone consultation, right? So that's what you should have on this page. Now, keep in mind the conversion on this page, depending on where you're at and the competition and like all the different factors, may not be too high. You really only get the ones that are like, I really want to talk with you, and there's not too many of those people. So have that in there. It's just to make the experience better for the leads, etc. But then obviously the people who book have a thank you page where you direct the people to, and just let them know like, hey, I'll be calling you at the time that they booked. You can do custom fields and all the good stuff to inform that and whatnot. But the people here, okay, who submit the survey, they are the ones that become a lead. So these are the people that we call lead. They submit the information, they said yes to the offer that we gave them on the ad and the survey page, and they become a lead. So that's what we call an opt-in lead, right? So these are opt-ins. And these are phone consults. So the opt-in leads, we want to be engaging with them within 30 seconds of them opting in. Now, I acknowledge that's probably not possible if we only use humans. And the huge thing that we have nowadays is AI, artificial intelligence. So implement AI systems in order to text, so SMS, and potentially even call the leads who submit the survey and become a lead. Okay, so SMS call, AI calls, all the good stuff, you want to do that for the opt-ins. However, the main thing is that someone is calling them. So no matter if you have also SMS AI system in place, or if you would even have voice AI systems in place, I still highly recommend that you also add on some manual calls in there, right? So that you personally also calling the ones who have not engaged, have not booked, etc. And you have these conversations. What you're really looking there is just engagement, right? You're just looking to get a response that you can then turn into a conversation. So no matter what the response is always good, because then you get them engaged, and when you have engagement, you can actually start having conversations with the people, and that then leads to next step. I have a funny story here. We have one customer who, this is actually earlier this year, the lead said, F you, OSMS, and the agents, I don't recommend this, but he did this and he said back like F you as well. And funny enough, that actually got the conversation going. A couple weeks later, they listed the property. So like no matter what the lead says, it's always a good thing, because that means there's engagement, that you can have conversations and then turn those conversations into fruitful conversations that leads turns into appointments, that turns into listings. So just keep that in mind. Now, you also do want to have email and SMS workflows nurturing going for all the people who filled out the survey. So this is just to capture attention. This is to capture information, and this is to capture the most like the people who really want to talk with you right away. And then this is where the magic happens. This is the main thing that you should be focusing on. So what happens after someone submits the survey and becomes a lead? That's where you should spend the most of your time to figure that out, or just you could click on the link and talk with us, and we just already figured it out for you. Or keep on watching my next videos and I'll show you how to do all that stuff. However, if you're building this on your own, this is where you should spend majority of your time. Even if you have someone else to build that for you, most of your focus when it comes to the lead conversion, nurturing, all that process should be spent when the leads come in. You shouldn't be thinking about like if the ad is too good or not, if we should do some changes on the ad. Just forget that. Real estate is so simple. The actual game when it comes to getting opportunities, that is so simple, and people just overcomplicate that. So don't spend your time figuring out the ads and different creatives and whatnot. Just check out my other videos and I'll give you some, and then build the foundation for it. We can always make it better, and we should. For example, that's one of the things that our team is doing when it comes to working with you guys, is like we actually making things better. We are fine-tuning the funnel, all that good stuff. But if you're doing this on your own, you should be spending most of your time here, and once you have more time, you have team members, you have cash, then you can start figuring out the other parts of the process to make it even more better. When it comes to leads coming in, we should be seeing around $30 per lead. The conversion from there to actual conversation over the phone should be around, let me double check if I'm saying yes, should be around 33%, and 30% from there to in-persons, and then 20% conversion to listings. So that's kind of like the whole process works. More about the numbers in a bit, but that's the actual funnel. That's so simple. You don't want to overcomplicate this, especially if you're doing this on your own. I was stuff we go slightly more in depth when we work with you guys, but this is the funnel. Okay, so this is the marketing piece. This goes more this is also marketing, but however this also goes to the sales piece, because most people think that sales starts when like we're on appointments or whatever. No, the actual appointment setting, the nurturing process, all that stuff, follow up, that is sales. That's part of sales, but it's also part of marketing. So it's like this fine correlation, connection between them in that sense. So yes, hopefully that's clear now. Now numbers. Let's say GCI goal, your gross commission call is 120k over the next 12 months, and your average commission per deal per listing is 10k. You would need 12 listings to hit that. 12 times 10,000 is 120,000 if I'm doing my math correctly, and then per month that would be one listing per month. 12 divided by 12 is one per month, and let's say your splits are 80-20. You give 80%. That would mean your commissions after splits would be 8k per deal, and per year that would be, how much is 8,000 times 12? 96,000 per year in commissions. But let's just focus now to keep super simple. Let's focus on the gross commission goal here, just so you know that if you have these splits, this is better way, but basically the commission. However, to keep this calculation super simple, let's focus on the gross commissions and use this calculation to your own and add on your own numbers and then your own goals, etc., to figure out, okay, how much I need to do whatever. Now, how to get to one listing per month so that we can get to 120k gross commissions per year. So as I said earlier, cost per lead is around $30, and lead to conversation is around 33%, and conversation to in-person appointment is around 30%, and in-person appointment to listing is around 20%. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier in previous videos. Now you may be thinking like, I'm only going to convert 20% of in-person appointments with this system. Yes and no. That's the average, and it really depends on how well you nail down the process. However, there's a couple things to keep in mind when it comes to the conversion rate. It actually is really freaking good, even at 20%, just because of the volume, right? We're scaling things up. We're making it predictable, consistent. In order for that to really work and actually know the numbers, it's not going to be super high in terms of the conversion, but we know the numbers, so we know what to expect and how to go about it to make it predictable, and then it's consistent and predictable. So always you know that when you put an X amount in, you get X amount out, right? You put an X amount in, you get Y amount out, and you can look at it from an annual basis. So something that's super scalable, and when there's more volume added to the system, then obviously the numbers, the economics, I mean the conversion rates, all that stuff will slightly decrease compared to super warm audiences and sources like referrals, peer influence, all that good stuff. But however, those sources normally are not scalable, are not predictable, but this is. Hence why it's okay that the numbers are slightly lower, because we can actually put volume through it, which increases the outcome, and you can scale it up. That's pretty cool. So, knowing this, and knowing that we need one listing per month, so one listing per month, that's now the goal, because our goal is 120k gross commission a year. In order to do that with these numbers, we need one listing per month. Now we need to figure out, okay, how many in-person appointments do we need in order to get one listing per month? Then how many conversations we need to get that amount of in-person appointments, etc. So how many in-person appointments we need in order to get one listing? If our goal is one listing and our in-person to listing conversion is 20%, we take the 20% and we use our calculator, and we got 5 in-person appointments. Simply like that. You take the one goal divided by 20%, you get 5 in-person appointments. Now, how many conversations do we need to get 5 in-person appointments? So we take 5 in-person appointments, we divide that by conversations to in-person appointments, which is 30%. And by the way, if you already kind of understand this math, stay there, just keep it up, because I'm diving into a couple of things that are crucial for you, but this is for everyone, just to get the baseline for everyone to understand this. Now 5 divided by 30%, that is 16 to 17 conversations. So conversations that we need to have on a monthly basis in order to get 5 in-person appointments. Right? So now the next step is, okay, how many leads do we need in order to get that amount of conversations? Let's just take 16 divided by 33%. 16 divided by 33%. Oops. 16 divided by 33%. We get 48. And then let's take 17 divided by 33%. 17 divided by 33%. We get 52. So meaning we need 48 to 52 leads per month in order to get to 1 listing per month, right? In order to get to 1 listing per month, we need 48 to 52 leads per month. Let's just take 50 as an average, because 48, 52, you're gonna get the 50 as an average. So let's say we need 50 leads in order to get 1 listing per month, knowing these to be true. And if the cost per lead is $30, we take 30 times 50, and our cost per listing acquired is, in that case, 30 times 50 is 1500 CPA. Oh, let me just say cost per listing acquired. So cost per acquisition, CPA, only adds in this. There's difference between CAC, client acquisition cost, customer acquisition cost, and CPA. So more about that on later videos if you really want to know. But cost per acquisition, cost to acquire 1 listing through ads, 1500. Okay, and then if that was the goal for 1 month, we just need to spend that times 12, and that means on a year we spend 18k into ads in order to get to 12 listings per year and 120k gross commissions. And now if we spend 18k, let me just take this out of here. If we spend 18k this, and we make 96k this per year after splits, right? And we spend 18k, 96,000 divided by 18,000, you get 5.33x ROAS, return on ad spend. That looks horrible. 5.33x ROAS, meaning you put $1 in and you get $5.33 back on an annual basis. Pretty cool stuff. And this is not taking into account all the back end money, which is like referrals. How many times these people who sign up with you are going to transact with you again, buy and sells, all the good stuff. This is just the front end. Okay, so pretty cool stuff. So we figured out the CPA, cost per 1 listing through ads, 1500, and then we figure out the CPA, the ROAS, return on your ad spend. Now this only takes into account the ad spend. Obviously there's other expenses and whatnot, but nevertheless that's how you calculate it. So now, knowing these numbers, what you can do is you can be like, okay, I want to get to 1 million a year, 7 figures. What does that mean in terms of the math? How much do you need to actually put into ads in order to make that happen? And one thing I need to say, Now, if you're starting from zero, or you're starting from like, I never actually run ads, I haven't closed online leads, then do not try to go from 0 to 1 mil right away. At least I would recommend, unless you prepare to kind of waste a bit of money while you're trying to figure things out. You first want to build a foundation, right? You first want to actually crack the code to convert online leads, and then you can start scaling up. Because even though this looks super simple and I'm just putting money in and I'm getting money out, there's obviously work to be involved and there's skills to be learned. It's different process than actually converting leads from other sources, so you actually need to learn the skills of online lead conversion, right? And then once you have the foundation, then you can start really fine-tuning the funnel and fine-tuning your numbers, and then actually also putting more money to the system in order to scale up the ad spend and then the results, right? And get into high numbers per year. Also to keep in mind sales cycles, all that stuff, but main thing to figure out is your numbers in your sales process and how you can get to first these numbers, and then from there to actually start fine-tuning and getting better numbers and conversions throughout the process, and then better outcomes. That's one of the things that we teach our clients on a weekly basis to do. Our 7 and 8 figure real estate agents are actually coaching on the lead conversion, the mindset, as well as the business economics and all that stuff when it comes to this process and actually converting online leads and sales stuff, all the good stuff. That's one of the things that we do. We also build these systems for you, and we have proven it. Here's only a couple of them, and I showed you already other people that we done this for and proven that it actually works, and you can make online listing acquisition work and scale and actually explode, which is a pretty cool thing.
Now, if you want us to build the system for you and learn the value first listing acquisition process and help you get more listings and double or even triple your production over the next 12 months, here's what to do next. Click the link in the description, watch the short video that breaks down why this system works, and book a free game plan session with my team. We'll take a look at your current setup, your market, and if we are a fit. And if we are, we'll help you build this from the ground up. If we're not, we'll still give you value-packed resources you can use on your own. Now, this is how you stop guessing. This is how you stop chasing, and how you start predictably growing your real estate business with consistent listings. Click the link below, watch the short breakdown, and book your game plan session today, and I'll see you inside.